Hello and welcome to the final results for Challenging 1984 Duo or Die. We are here with our six finalists, in addition to some of our previously eliminated challengers from this season. And I know that you're all eagerly awaiting the results that you have been working towards for the last 2 weeks. It's been a long journey. And you're all excited to see how it unfolds. And I'm excited to let you all know how it unfolds. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get to some results. Best of luck. Can you all see this? Great. Okay. So, this challenge, for those who may not be aware on the call, was run in 5 parts. So, each part was designed to test a different level of their skill set. One part was endurance, another one was purely physical, another one was a puzzle, one part was just pure luck. And when you combine all of that, we should, in theory, have the most well-rounded winner possible. I'll leave that up to all of you to decide. So, part one was a battle of endurance. So, when I reveal the times, the higher times are obviously the better times. So, for part one, here are our results. NJ lasted only 12 seconds. Kennedy went for a minute, 31 seconds. Ali, a respectable 46 seconds. Grace, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Cooper, almost 8 minutes. And Antoinette, over 10 minutes. So, with that being said, translating that into points, here are our point breakdown. So Antoinette got 6 points, and so on until NJ got one. Okay. Moving on, part two was all about game trivia knowledge, how much you knew about the season and the former players that you had a hand in eliminating. So here were the scores. The only person to finish was Cooper, who finished in 9 minutes, 28 seconds. The rest of you did not finish. The numbers in parentheses are how many you had correct at the end of the time. So you see we had a tie between NJ and Grace with 11 correct. Then Antoinette with 10, Ali with 7, and Kennedy with 6. So translating that into points, we gave Grace and NJ both 5 as they tied, and there was no tiebreaker for that one. And then Antoinette got 3, Ali 2, Kennedy 1, and of course, Cooper 6 points. Moving on to part three. Part three was a battle of luck, a callback to y'all's favorite game, Yahtzee. And here are our scores. So Kennedy destroyed Yahtzee with 408 points. Somehow Cooper and NJ managed to tie with 212. And then Ali just short 206, Antoinette just short with 201, and Grace with 130. So to break the tie with Yahtzee, we went with who finished the game fastest, as stated, and that was Cooper. So point breakdown there. Kennedy with 6, all the way down to Grace with 1. Part 4 was a slide puzzle, the one that unfortunately we did earlier in this season and Brian was not able to complete in time. And some of you struggled with this one as well. Some of you didn't. Here are our scores. So Ali did not finish. The rest of you did finish. NJ ran through this challenge, and the rest of you not too far behind. So translating that into points, NJ had 6 points, all the way down to Ali with 1. And our final part was purely physical. It was a mix of a variety of tasks that you guys have either participated in or seen others participate in throughout this season. And here are the results. Ali and Grace both could not finish in the 15-minute time frame. NJ, Kennedy, and Antoinette were able to, but got close to not being able to, while Cooper ran away with this challenge with just under 3 minutes total. So translating that into points, and those of you who may have been doing math as we've been going along, here are our total scores. So with that, congratulations to Cooper. You have won challenging 1984 Duo or Die with 24 points. In second, big congratulations to NJ. Third, Antoinette. Tied for fourth, Kennedy and Grace. And I'm sorry, Allie, in sixth place with 9
Listen,
points.
I tried my best. I did with what I could.
Did y'all check Cooper's damn blindfold?
Yeah, how the fuck?
Did that get checked?
That's what I did during my season. That was like the famous veto I won.
You say famous like we knew that.
Nah.
Watch for speakers.
Congrats,
Congratulations.
That's
Coopy,
crazy.
Coopy.
Literally.
All right.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say big congrats to Cooper. Congrats to all of you. This was not an easy final. It was, as I said, every part was some different type of competitive element, which is why we designed it this way. When it comes to the challenge, we want to be able to crown a winner who's able to excel not only in the physical, but also in the mental, and maybe even be able to pull some luck out when they need to and bring all of that together. So I really think we got a really great winner, a really great group of people overall in the final, as well as in this whole cast. I'm really glad with how things went down, and I hope that you all had fun. And we'll get into some awards if y'all are interested.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, NJ. You have something to say.
No, no, I didn't realize there were awards. I thought, okay, yeah. I forgot what yeah. Awards.
We don't have too many. I mean, it was a short season after all right? And obviously very competition heavy. It's not like Big Brother or Survivor where we're all like blindsiding and making these grand moves and all that stuff. But we do have some that we would love to give out to y'all. So let's get into some awards. Starting with Gone Too Soon, this one pretty self-explanatory. These are three people that we want to recognize as really not having the chance. They just went too early due to a variety of circumstances, and we just didn't really get a chance to really see what they were capable of and what they were made of in this season. So our nominees are Eric, Nick, and Rachel. Of course, we all know round one, unfortunately, Eric was eliminated as he wasn't able to be there for the elimination competition. And then Rachel volunteered herself to go out as well to save Sam. And then the following round, we had Nick leave just one round after he won the initial daily competition. Nick is a great competitor and somebody that definitely could have excelled in a lot of competitions this season, but unfortunately just wasn't able to get past that one elimination that he was in. But we decided to give this award to Eric. Figured it was pretty fitting. He never really had a chance, unfortunately. Does suck. That was the pretty much the one night the whole season that he had let us know he would not be there. And then, of course, he got sent in. So just really bad, unfortunate circumstances. And so hopefully we'll get to see Eric in a future season. Most robbed. So this is on a different note. These are people that we did in fact get to see play, and unfortunately, just because of the way things went down, we really feel that they were robbed of either going further, robbed of making it to the end, anything of that nature. So our nominees are Cody, Brian, and Josh. And if you're thinking critically about this, you'll realize these are three people who pretty much got eliminated in elimination competitions pretty much because of their own partner that they were paired with in that competition. Their partner was just not able to do what they needed to do on their end of things, which that's the name of the game. That's the twist. That's the format. Like, that's how it is. But obviously, it did suck for us as production to see certain people go home when they themselves were not necessarily at fault for it. We did decide to give this award to Brian,
Period, Brian.
specifically because when you look at these three nominees, Brian was standing there in his wall brawl competition, holding up his stack, second by second, minute by minute, just waiting, hoping, praying that Corey would pull it through, and unfortunately he couldn't. Brian also really was doing an incredible job socially. He really had a lot of bonds here, and Brian is a competitor, and there are not a lot of competitions that he's going to lose. And so, in addition, we just felt that overall Brian was definitely very robbed. Moving on, biggest upset moment. So these are just moments that were just shocking, upsetting to some of you in some sort of fashion. So this is a little bit more broad. So we have three specific scenarios. So starting on the left, we have Brian and Corey. This was when Brian and Corey got voted into elimination. About half the house or so was. Oh, so sorry about my dog if you can hear her. Um, Brian and Corey going into elimination was definitely not something that pretty much about half the house was wanting. There were definitely some raging going on in the messages and calls later that night, especially after they were eliminated. It definitely caused a really big power shift in the game that a lot of people were not happy with. But a lot of people were also very happy with it. So it was one of those twofold situations. Eric and Rachel, this goes back to round one when it was announced that basically this format was one of those that essentially, if you couldn't show up to compete in most situations, you would not be able to stay in the game any longer. Or if your partner was not able to show up for most eliminations, you would not be able to compete any longer. And so that was definitely a shocking moment for a lot of you, something a lot of you did not see coming, and something that was just not anticipated. And then finally, the bottom four little faces over there. This goes back to the round where we ended up in the code names elimination. So this is where the house vote tied, and you had four duos in the dagger draw. And to be honest, the whole way that this was orchestrated and put together, there was a lot of behind the scenes happening between Kennedy, Antoinette, Bryce, and Tyler. They were working closely together pretty much the entire season, and their goal was to make sure that there were as many people in the dagger draw as possible so that Bryce and Tyler had as big of a chance as possible to not go against one another in elimination. That was pretty much their worst case scenario. And as we saw in the dagger draw, that is exactly what ended up happening. So it was definitely an upset for the power players that had been kind of running the game for a while. And it was a phenomenal job of them orchestrating this and getting this to happen. But unfortunately, it didn't work out in their favor, even though the odds were in their favor. So that was definitely a key moment in this season. And sending Bryce and Emily out when they did was definitely a really big change in the very end of this game. We did decide to give this award to Corey and Brian because that really was the moment that the whole game kind of shifted. The first half of the game really was being run by this collection of pretty much the veterans plus like Corey and Allie. There was a lot of power in that side of the house, and this was the round that pretty much all changed. And as we see, in the end, the winner of this season is someone who was not included in really any of those power structures over there. No tea, no shade. It's just the facts. And so it's just it was a really big moment for this whole season, and it really shook things up when it kind of needed to be shaken up a little bit for other people to have a chance. So we gave this award to Brian and Corey. Okay. Comp Beast of the Season. So our nominees are Tyler, Sam, and Antoinette. Comp Beast of the Season, it mostly in most seasons just comes down to pure statistics, not to be boring. It's just kind of a fact. So Tyler won 2 dailies and 2 eliminations. Antoinette won 4 dailies, and Sam himself won 3 eliminations. So 3 power players when it came to competitions this season, really winning and excelling in different types of competitions when they needed to. We did decide to give this award to Antoinette because 4 daily wins is an incredible feat. Never having to go into elimination challenge. Had you gone in, based on this, you probably would have come out alive, right? So we gave this award to Antoinette because who knows what you could have done in the eliminations, but you never had to see them. So big congrats to you on that.
Queen of only player to not go into a land.
That's insane.
Our next award is Social Butterfly. I mean, a lot of you were very social, but we wanted to highlight just a few key people this season. So we gave the nominees Bryce, NJ, and Allie. So Bryce came into this game. He really did not have many connections aside from the old school 1984 people, a lot of the veterans, but really all these new school players, if you will. He really didn't know it all, and he did a really great job at kind of ingratiating himself in these new alliances, and he had some help from some of his other allies as well, but he formed really strong bonds with people such as Mira and Ali and other people as well that he really did not know at all coming into this game. Um, NJ, I think we all know, is a social player by nature, extremely likable, extremely outgoing. And at the start of this game, people who didn't even know NJ instantly were messaging in their prod chats and messaging in their one-on-ones saying they love NJ, they love their energy, and they're just so excited to meet them. And pretty much all the people who did know NJ coming in were so happy to see them here, so happy to get to play with them. They just kind of have this aura about them that draws people in, and I think we can all acknowledge that. And Ali as well, while a bit rough around the edges sometimes in her approach, if I will, I'll love Ali. You are a social player at heart, and you know that. You've said it yourself that the social game is how you excel in these games, and you've done that right here. You made it to the final tonight, and you yourself know that your social game is pretty much how you get to the end of these games. You're able to make bonds with people, get people to fall in love with you and your personality, and you're just kind of blunt and upfront with people, and that is a respectable way to play the game socially. So we wanted to highlight these three people. We did decide to give the award to Bryce. Bryce just really was active pretty much 24/7 on calls all day, all night, putting in the work, doing what he needed to do, and unfortunately just got sniped just before the final. Underdog of the season. So we wanted to recognize a few people that really had a bit of an uphill battle against them. So we'll start with Grace. So Grace, you would think would come in with a bit more of a reputation being a finalist from Surviving 1984, but most people really didn't seem to pay much attention to that. And unfortunately, most people really weren't giving Grace the time of day in general. They felt that they had their people and they were locked in with their people, and they didn't really need Grace on their side. And in the end, Grace made it to the final, and a lot of those people did not even get here. So there's something to be said for that. Grace had definitely an uphill battle, and got lucky definitely in some of those elimination challenges and able to get here in the end. So moving on, we have Emily. Honestly, kind of a similar situation. Emily came in with a few people that she knew, but not too many connections. And people very quickly kind of realized that they had enough friends, they had enough allies. They didn't necessarily need Emily on their side in order to excel in this game. Unfortunately for them, Emily continued to pull the dagger and stay and survive vote after vote, or would be the last place loser. So then they couldn't vote for her. So they kept having to change their game around Emily, and she made it almost all the way to the end, was so close, and could have easily made it here to the final, and would have had a great chance to win as well, because Emily definitely knows how to mess up a good competition, that's for sure. And we have Cooper, of course, the winner tonight. Cooper, again, coming in with kind of an uphill battle. You had quite the reputation from Risky Business. People who had watched that season knew that you are really good at competitions, you're really good socially, and you're really good strategically as well. So you're kind of a triple threat in that regard. And people knew that and were really gunning for you right away. And some people were willing to reach out a little bit. You formed some close bonds with people like Bryce, but others not so much. They would have much rather seen you go earlier rather than later. And I guess they may have been right, because here now you sit as the winner tonight. So we decided to give this award to Cooper. We felt like you just had such an uphill battle on your way here, and with being called out publicly on multiple occasions, you had a lot going against you, and you were able to still make it here through some clutch wins, and then coming into the final and pulling out the win is definitely an underdog story. Moving on to Hero of the Season, we decided to nominate three people that we felt really embodied the spirit of a hero. So similarly, we kind of just talked on the last slide about Emily. We felt that Emily was really, in many ways, just kind of being constantly put off to the side. Emily was trying to look for allies wherever she could, but in the end, a lot of people just didn't feel like she factored much into their game. And even though she was pretty much playing an honest and upfront and loyal game, she was just not someone that a lot of people wanted to work with. She had some connections with people like NJ and Josh and others, but not the solid connections that she really needed to excel. Kaylee, we wanted to recognize Kaylee because Kaylee is pretty much just one of those heroes through and through. She's loyal to her people and she was riding with her alliance. Unfortunately, she got sniped a bit early there, definitely unexpected from the production side of things. But Kaylee is definitely a hero through and through and someone that we love hosting and love seeing and someone that you can count on. If she's going to be in your alliance, she's going to stick by you. And that's basically, the end of that. Sam, I think we all know with Sam's story constantly being thrown in, constantly being cast aside, dagger draw after dagger draw, elimination after elimination. As I said earlier, he won 3 eliminations in total. Unfortunately, he was not able to win that the Honeysucker 1v1v1v1 elimination and unfortunately lost there. But had he won, he could have kept going on, and I could have seen him even winning his way to the final because he clearly knew how to win a competition when he needed to. We did decide to give this award to Emily. We felt that Emily was deserving of this award and recognition as the hero of this season, constantly just kind of fighting for her life every single round, as we said. Moving on to villain of the season. So we definitely had some villainous characters this season. We decided to nominate Corey, Marina, and Tyler as our villains. Corey, very loud, very outspoken, and we all know the Zoom call, the voting ceremony where Corey got into that public fight with Cody. Definitely a villainous moment on Corey's part there. Marina, Marina's one of those people that if you just looked at the chart for the season, you would think that she's a guaranteed hero, constantly being voted in week after week, round after round, house vote, winner choice, stagger draw, elimination. But unfortunately, that's not how Marina rolls. Marina is definitely a loud character, a loud presence, and she's definitely ready to be the villain when she needs to be. And she definitely embodies that, even if the voting chart says otherwise. And of course, Tyler. Tyler having probably the most outspoken confrontations this season, running to the main chat whenever he felt that his back was against the wall and he needed to defend himself, throw some shade onto somebody else, call someone out. And we saw that quite a few times this season. So we did decide to give this award to Tyler, definitely the most villainous character that we saw this season, pretty much willing to do whatever he needed to do in order to stay in this game, throw his allies under the bus, sacrifice other people, really whatever it is that he needed to do, he was willing to, and was so close to getting into this final. And I think Tyler would have had a great chance to win it all had he been here. And player of the season. So, Player of the season is always a challenging award to give out because everyone plays a different way. You don't want to just give it to the people who make it to the end because, that isn't necessarily who the player of the season is. There's a lot that goes into it, and it really starts day one and it ends, at the finale. We talk about someone who pretty much is playing from the minute the game starts and doesn't stop until either they're eliminated or until they win it all. So we decided to nominate Tyler, Kennedy, Cooper, and Bryce as the player of the season nominees. So Tyler, really, from the minute that he was able to get online, I think on day 2, because he was away when this game started, he really never took his foot off the gas. He was calling day after day after day into the middle of the night, talking to whoever he needed to. He had alliance after alliance, was doing whatever he needed to do to secure the votes in whatever direction made the most sense for him. Kennedy is a fierce competitor who came in with quite the reputation as a veteran from season 1. Anyone who knows Kennedy in these games knows that she's killer at these competitions, and that did not really stop Kennedy at any point from doing what she needed to do to make the social bonds in order to stay out of elimination, round after round after round. There's something to be said that Kennedy did not go into the elimination until that final elimination, and then was able to pull it out and make it to this final, the only veteran to make final 2 seasons in a row. So there's something to be said for that. And Kennedy definitely made her mark on this season in that regard. Cooper, So again, like we said earlier, Cooper definitely had an uphill battle, but did what he needed to do to make the bonds that he could, even after being called out publicly on multiple occasions, winning competitions, making allies out of enemies, just putting every ounce of effort into this game. Another person who was always ranting in their prod chat, just letting us know their thoughts, letting us know what was going on inside their head, just clearly was never taking their eyes off the prize. And then finally, Bryce, as we said earlier, Bryce really was embodying the social elements of this game. Despite not winning many competitions, he was able to make bonds with people that he had never met before coming in here, really strengthening those bonds so that he was really rarely vulnerable in this game at any point. And almost every single round, no matter who were the daily winners, Bryce pretty much knew, oh, I'm fine, I'm safe, I'm good. And obviously, part of that is who you get partnered with, but Bryce also pretty much had a good relationship with almost every person that got into power at some point in this game. And he also made sure to put other people in front of him and keep targets around that were going to be targeted before he was. So he really knew what he was doing. And there was a time where we as production thought there was really no world where Bryce didn't make it to the final. And if it wasn't for just that one round, I think that he easily would have been here as one of the finalists tonight. We did decide to give this award to Tyler. As we said, I mean, if y'all could have seen the calls, the messages, you'll see a list of the alliances after the season. I mean, Tyler was in every corner of this game. If there was any wiggle room to maneuver, to get someone on his side, to twist someone's words, to, throw someone under the bus to get the votes to go his way, he really did what he needed to do day after day for pretty much almost 2 weeks until, unfortunately, he lost that elimination. So, as we said, when it comes to player of the season, we try our best to pick people that, from the moment the game starts until the end, or as close to the end as possible, they are go, 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 and Tyler definitely embodied that this season. And now we will wrap up with some of our production and moderations Fritz. So without further ado, I will hand it over to Scott. You can go ahead and unmute and let everybody know who you've chosen as your favorite.
Hi everyone. Oh, it's so exciting to get to talk. So, I'll try to make this quick because I can yap, but I really enjoyed watching every single one of you play. I'm excited that I get to pick a favorite. With that, I will say coming into moderating this season, I did know a lot of people on the cast, whether I played with them, whether I was friends with them. But with that being said, I chose to pick someone that I did not know before this season started. This person is just, I don't know, watching this person's game unfold, watching them strategize, just watching them not being afraid to say what's on their mind to players or production. I don't know, just was really something that I just really enjoyed. And with that, I'm going to say that my prod favorite is, drumroll, Kennedy. I love Kennedy so much. I love all of you, but watching Kennedy play, she won my heart over for sure. So Kennedy, you are my mod.
Oh my god,
favorite.
stop! I love you.
I love you too.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Now it is time for Luke's favorite. Luke, you can go ahead and unmute and let everybody know your thoughts.
Oh my God, it's the person that almost everyone doesn't know, but hi, for those of you who don't know me. I was from the Collector's Edition season. Yeah, shout out to Ali, Mira, Kaylee, and Zay, who isn't here. Love y'all and loved watching y'all. This is my very first time moderating in 1984 season and being a part of this side of things. And it's so fun watching y'all like literally interact. And and everyone can attest, most if not everyone can attest, I was in every single one of y'all's calls at some point. So I was watching very closely. And some of y'all probably know me for the mess that a certain Collector's Edition person would talk about, but that's for another time, but that's all for shits and giggles. But anyway, my pick is someone that I've been on calls with at times. And I really enjoyed seeing them play their game and really go against the grain because that's something that I like seeing in a player. I also think after reading their confessionals, they are very real and very relatable, and they truly grew on me as the season went by. And amidst all the chaos and all the drama that went on, they provided somewhat of a comedic relief to me. And we can't forget that this certain person really had an iconic moment during one of these daily challenges. They forgot that knife started with a K. So if that wasn't obvious already, my mod favorite this season is Cooper. You're such a king, and I loved watching you play from start to finish and emerge in the finale at the end and win. So congrats, and you're my mod favorite, King.
Thank you, Luke, but I was hoping nobody would bring that up.
It had to be. It's iconic, King.
Okay, moving on, we have Shayna's favorite. Shayna, if you're able to, can you unmute and give everybody your favorite?
Oh my God, these boys talk way too fucking much. Mine's gonna be short and sweet. I don't know why, but like they're like, this is my moment to shine. Anyways, um, obviously I love you all. This is so fun to watch. I've been drawing for 2 days, like, let's go Blue Jays. So there's that. Anyways, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'm picking Antoinette. Like, you have been a calm in an absolute shitstorm.
Me?
This cast has been nuts, and you've been like socially like a part of things. You've won challenges. You've been like out of a limbs. Like, I don't know. It's fun to watch you like still have like all your allies and still make it to the end. Freaking kudos to you. Congrats.
Thanks, Queen.
So next we have Sky's favorite. Sky unfortunately could not be here right now, so we're just going to go ahead and reveal her favorite. And if you want more information on why she chose this person, you can go ahead and message her. So Sky's favorite is Tyler. I know, I will say, Sky did say part of the reason why she chose Tyler is that she didn't want him on the cast to begin with. So she kind of has to stan him after the way he played.
Honestly,
So
I feel like this award is a lie because Sky would tell me every single day that she wants me to go home next.
well, she picked you and you can take it up with her. Okay. Time for Nolan's favorite. Unfortunately, Nolan also something came up last minute and he wasn't able to be here tonight. So I will reveal it for him. And of course, if you have thoughts as to why he chose you or if it's not you, go ahead and message him. I'm sure he'd be happy to enlighten you. So Nolan's favorite is Emily. So congratulations, Emily, for being Nolan's favorite. And finally, the last award, the best award, is Zach's favorite. So thought long and hard about this one. It was just so difficult for me. But I decided to give this award to Mira Hall. Mira, you're just such, I mean, in all honesty, y'all, let me so for real. It's a lot hosting some of you. And Mira is a pleasure to host. Like, you know, when you have that report card in grade school and the teacher would say, like, a pleasure to have in class? Mira is that pleasure to have. Okay. Some of you are not. And I just love Mira. And aside from that, I mean, Mira, you strategically, socially, competitively, you're a joy to watch. You really kill these competitions just like you did last season of 1984. You made it so close to the end. Honestly, I thought preseason, I was like, Mira's making the final for sure. Like, she's got this down. She's going to get with people that she doesn't previously know. She's got her people from last season. Like, this is Mira's game to lose. And it for a second, it looked like it was. You were so close. Had you won that elimination, I think if you made this final, you would have had an extremely good chance of winning it all. And yeah, it was just really, really a pleasure having you. So you are my favorite.
Thanks, Zachary Ravery. They said that on my report card in school, so I'm glad that I'm just like keeping it up. I'm consistent. What can I say?
Okay. Well, that is all we have for awards. Congratulations to all of you on a great season. Big congrats to Cooper on your win and your $50. I know you've been waiting for it. That bank account is empty. So we'll be getting your information and we'll be sending that $50 your way. Again, to all of you, thank you so much. It was such a joy hosting all of you. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed. And hopefully, we'll see some, most, or all of you for future challenging seasons. So, with that said, I'm going to end the stream, but you're all welcome to stay and